Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the pod. This is another mini episode where we're going to jump into life and catch up and what's new. So what's new? What's going on?
I sleep. That is my biggest update.
Okay.
And it's a big one because, as you know, I have not slept in 8 months. So it's a very big win.
Okay, so you guys did the official sleep training.
Yes. I did my own version of it, though, because I really struggled with it this time. Actually, if I'm honest, I struggled with it with all 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I had a home birth with my second and third child. And in the home birth community, generally, sleep training is strongly argued against. And a lot of the people that I follow, like my midwife, who I love dearly, is a huge co-sleeping advocate.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of home birth people are big co-sleeping advocates and anti-sleep training. So I had a lot of I took a lot of that from social media. And
I was going to say, I feel like that's really bad advice. That would seem like really, the reasons why I would home birth are totally opposite from the reasons why I would sleep train, you know? Like those two things wouldn't be linked in my brain.
They don't link so the reason I see them linked is because home birth is, of course, very limited intervention.
Mm-hmm.
It's very back to the basics, back to how we used to birth well before there was so many medical Western interventions and everything else. And co-sleeping has the same idea. It's we never used to be separated in different rooms from our babies. Back in the day, moms would always sleep with their babies. That's how we've done it for generations. So I think that's where the tie comes in.
Okay.
Which I understand. I mean, if you look at the nervous system regulation and how babies regulate, there's a lot to be said for co-sleeping.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a little short-sighted. I'm just giving the other side of that.
I know.
Because you could apply that to anything. We used to live in tribes. We used to live in, it's we used to wear our babies all day until they were 5 years old. So I don't know. It's a little, I think you could home birth and then get really stressed out thinking okay, now I have to meet all of these expectations of the home birth. I don't know. I'm just talking out loud of what, and that seems really detrimental.
It was very stressful because I kept consuming a lot of content that was why sleep training is terrible and why co-sleeping is the way. And I really was this is the baby. I'm going to co-sleep. Me and Scarlett, it's going to be great. And it just wasn't. And I tried so hard.
Yeah.
And it just really didn't work for us. And I put a lot of pressure on myself. So it was tough.
That's an interesting topic, getting out of sleep specifically. But I do think it's very common in the mothering community. And one of the reasons why I started this whole medium crunchy thing, because in the holistic wellness community, if you're super one-sided as far as what you give to your kids or don't give to your kids or feed to your kids, it almost had this trickle effect of well, now we're cutting out alcohol and now we're cutting out all of this. And then people were getting in this cycle. And I truly hate that. I actually, this is just my opinion. I think if co-sleeping works for you, co-sleep. I think if a home birth works for you, home birth. I think if a hospital birth works for you, hospital birth. And I don't think any of these things have to connect and don't have to make sense to anybody else, if that makes sense.
I agree.
I had another, Jaja's a hilarious child, but I have tried to co-sleep because I was maybe she's my last, maybe she's not. Maybe I get her to sleep in my bed, maybe I don't. She's certainly been in my bed longer than any of the other kids. And it just doesn't work for us. I know. She's jumping around, she's having fun, she's slapping me in the face, she thinks it's a party. Whereas when we go in her room, I don't know what it is, but it just triggers her to think, I will sometimes sleep in her crib or I'll sleep on the floor with her in her room, but something about her room. And so I don't know. I think that's a lot of motherhood where if you feel like you fit, or homeschool is one for me where I feel like I fit into this homeschool bucket, but I'm not raising, I think chickens are disgusing. I'm not homesteading. You know what I mean? Where I feel it's almost blanketed where you think you have to be all or nothing. I don't know. Now I'm just spiraling. But
it applies to so many aspects of life because I'm a big anti all or nothing person.
Yeah.
And I agree with everything you just said. And I still got caught up in it. I still got caught up in the should. I should do it this way. This is what's best for the baby. And the reality is it's not what's best for Scarlett, because what's best for Scarlett is having a really happy present mom.
Yeah.
And that's really what's best for her.
Well, and the other thing is too, I think people get really offended as if you are trying to like contradict the science or research. There's also a way to say, yes, there are so many benefits to co-sleeping. I think it's wonderful. I think it's amazing. I think it's beautiful. I think it's so good for the mom and the baby. I think it's so good. But it also doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's people struggle with that as well. Or homeschool or whatnot. Like someone could say, I totally get the benefits of homeschool. I think it's amazing and I want my kids with me all the time, but it just doesn't work for us at this time or that, you know. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that too, where if you don't commit to a thing, it doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean you don't agree with it. It just means it doesn't work in your flow.
Life.
Yeah.
That's how I am with homeschool too. I really want to be a homeschool mom. I really, really do. And it's just, at least right now, to your point, and it's not permanent. Right now, not in the cards.
Yeah.
In the future, do I want to maybe work towards it? Absolutely. We'll see how it goes at real school, normal
You know
school.
something I love about Brooke Raybould, who I really admire? She has 5 kids. Very similarly went from corporate, I think she was in corporate tech or maybe corporate finance and then switched to, you know, motherhood and documenting her motherhood journey. So she has 5 boys, all of whom she homeschools. But then at one point or another, one of the boys will go to school and she'll kind of talk about it of like, I just recognized that this child needed more help that I wasn't able to offer. And so I put him in school for a little bit and it really worked. Or I put these 2 boys in a co-op where I could have, you know, and I feel like
flexible.
That's a really good also lesson too of nothing is permanent. Well, I guess like the co-sleeping thing is a little different, but like nothing is permanent. You don't have to submit to a thing. I actually have a friend right now who her kids have traditionally been in like a daycare program and now the daycare is closing down. And so she's like, okay, well, do I now go back to that method or do I switch? You know, it's okay to make transitions when it's appropriate or when life presents itself.
I think that's so true. It's just a flexible mindset. It's a flexible way of being. It's a lot less pressure, even with co-sleeping. Like I did co-sleep with Scarlett in the beginning, and now that she's 8 months old, I don't have to do it anymore. I can switch it up, right? There's so much less pressure to put on yourself. For some reason, with motherhood, though, it gets me sometimes. So it's a really good reminder because I do feel a lot better now. Like I'm sleeping.
So she's sleeping through the night?
She's sleeping all the way through the night, Lorissa.
Okay.
I got a solid 7 hours.
Amazing.
It's truly amazing. I mean, we were up every 30 minutes for a while there. It was terrible. And it's just such another reminder that I can take other people's opinions. I can read the science. I can filter it all. And then I just have to trust my intuition and what makes the most sense for our family.
Yeah. We had Jaja's like 90% of the time she sleeps through the night. I have 0 complaints. But not last night, but the night before, she started crying at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I go in there. Most of the time I can just do like a quick soothe and she'll go back. But I picked her up, did a quick soothe, and she just like snuggled her face, took a deep breath, and then she'll like hug. So she'll really hold on. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to put you down now.
No.
So I'm like laying in her chair and she's out. She's snoozing away. But I'm like, okay, well, I do need to sleep. It's 3. I have another good solid 2 to 3 hours of sleep. And I swear I like slithered like a snake like this to not disturb her. And then we just slept on the floor. And then probably like around 6:30, I put her in her bed. And she's a really good transfer.
Wow, that's really impressive. You did the slither all the way to the ground.
I slithered all the way to the floor. And then I'm just like there. And she's like just passed out on top of me. I'm like, whatever. But it's very easy for me to not succumb to the shoulds and the woulds. I mean, I feel like, you know, that's just who I am. But I do think for a lot of people, it's you get into the spiral. And I think there's an identity aspect of it too, where people are like, I identify as a co-sleeper. So and also if you go super hard, how do I say that? It's really hard for people to admit that they're changing their minds on anything, I think. I mean, it could be politics, it could be anything. So if you go super hard of like, I'm going to homeschool, I'm a homeschool mom and I'm committing to this, I feel like for a lot of women, it could be almost like admitting failure to transition, to be like, oh, it didn't work for me, you know?
That's that identity piece that we talk about so much. It's so hard to identify as anything for that reason. Because I feel like in life, I don't know, I've changed my mind and my opinion on things so much, especially with motherhood. I mean, every baby's different. You learn so much with everyone. You have different, the The third, I feel like I think about it differently because I have this underlying, is this my last? Is this like the last time that I'm holding? Is this the last I'm weaning from breastfeeding? Is it the last time I'm breastfeeding ever?
Are you still nursing?
We're weaning. We're weaning away from it.
Yeah.
I know.
Once they start sleeping all night, it's really hard to keep up a supply and to keep up with the rhythm and all of that.
And she just doesn't like to take the bottle because she'd rather breastfeed, but then I can't always be there. And I know for a lot of reasons, it's the right time.
Yeah.
I'm happy with our journey. But still, there's always this, is this the last? And evaluating everything. So just a lot of decisions. But
yeah,
it's important, I think, not to anchor your identity in anything that can shift like that.
I really wanted to nurse. So I nursed Layton until about 6 months, but I was pregnant by 5 months. And so I was literally trying to nurse a baby and like, I was like, ill. I'm like, okay, I got to put you down because I'm going to go puke because I'm having such bad morning sickness with the second baby. And then, so I didn't get to nurse him for as long as I wanted. I did have a bunch of freezer milk because that was good. And then with the second baby, I think because they were so close together, I was nursing Evander and Layton was like,
what about
okay,
me?
so I'm back in the game, right? Like he would look at me and I'm like, sorry, buddy, like the shop is only open for one. So then I was nursing Evander, but then I was pumping for Layton.
So hard.
So, and he would freak out. Like, poor guy, I have these videos. It's so sad, but he's like, I'll be pumping and he'll be like shaking the pump. He like wants more milk. Layton, the older one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to nurse the little guy. How do I tell this other little guy who I just cut off 6 months ago, hey,
you don't get
a couple
it. The
months
baby
ago,
does.
like, hey, you don't get it. Ugh. So then that was like a whole spiral that no one could ever prepare. I mean, I guess if you had children, if you have Irish twins or close to it, you get that. But so then I was like, I either have to cut everybody off or I don't know. It just
somehow,
felt like a weird thing. So anyways, long story short, with Jaja, I'm like, okay, I'm going to nurse her. I'm going to nurse her till a year, maybe 2. Like, let's just keep it going. And she wasn't like, she didn't love it. Like, she was fine, but she wasn't like obsessed. Like, some babies are just like obsessed. Like, Layton was obsessed with being on the boob. He could literally just live on my boob all day. She kind of didn't. And I think it was because the boys, she was always like, what are you guys doing? What's that sound? What's that noise? We're always on the go. So then when she started fully sleeping through the night, like around 6 months or so, where it was like very consistent, it just kind of like I would wake her up and be like, do you want a nurse? But then she would hear the boys and I don't know, it just didn't make sense. So I kind of had to say, okay, my plan was this, but this baby has some other sort of a plan. So I can only do my best.
Yeah,
they're humans too with I don't know, preferences and all the things.
Personalities.
Yeah.
Scarlett loves the boob.
Yeah.
But she got teeth.
Oh, hell no.
And my husband's
No.
like, why are your nipples
no.
black and blue? And I'm like, your daughter. So it's time.
Yeah.
It's
no way.
It's time.
Yeah.
All good things come to an end.
Yeah. Luckily, all my kids got teeth super late. So like I've never experienced that, but I can't even.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And then I'd like yell because it hurt so bad, right? And she starts cackling like she thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. And then she like wants to do it over and over again.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, I'm like,
no.
this is
Okay, good. Okay, so good update. Scarlett's sleeping, you're sleeping. All is right in the world.
Follow your intuition.
Follow your intuition.
Don't get caught in the shoulds.
Don't jump into a camp. If you feel like a camp is telling you, you should
be your own camp.
Be your own camp. Take a page out of my book and do whatever the heck you want all the time. That's my advice. That's my camp. It's
good advice.
The camp.
It's good advice. All right.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys next time.
See you next time.